I'm Archbishop Christopher Coyne, and this is Coffee with the Archbishop. And joining me today is the Dean of Spiritual Life, Father Dan Hackenjos.
Hackenjos.
I got to work on my German.
It's all right.
So how do you take your coffee?
I take it with a little bit of half and half. This afternoon I did with a little bit of lactate from Diana, courtesy of Diana. Thank you, Diana.
Diana's my secretary.
Yes.
And if you're from Boston, you'd have to say half and half.
Whatever.
It's not half and half. No, that's, Father Dan is one of the first two priests that I ordained as Archbishop of Hartford a year and a half ago. So, and it still takes, you still have the oil still.
It's still here.
Father Dan just moved into the house back that I live in with two other priests on June 1st.
Yes.
How you like living with me?
It's not bad, you know.
Just not bad.
Just not bad. I'm not there that much. Am I?
True. That's true. You're not.
I'm not there that much.
No, you're not. No, you're very busy because, as the Dean of Spiritual Life, you are the Dean of basically chaplaincy for the 3 Catholic high schools.
For 3 high schools. So I'm on the road a lot.
So which 3 schools?
So Northwest Catholic, East Catholic, and St. Paul's Catholic High School. So they're all up in the greater Hartford area.
Yeah.
So it makes it doable that I can get around.
So do you get like one? There's like 3 of them, so you hit one day.
One day, Northwest Wednesdays, East Catholic on Thursdays, and St. Paul's on Fridays.
Okay.
And then Tuesday we go around with different retreats, or if they have different needs, Tuesday I take time for whatever school needs me that day.
Okay. So when you go around, when you're there for the day, what do you have, like Mass usually?
So we have Mass at some point in the days while I'm there.
And is that for the whole school, or is it just?
Sometimes, once a month, we have an all-school Mass, and then we have daily Mass,
okay,
like you would, because we want those opportunities for students to be able to receive our Lord and to work on becoming disciples. So Mass is a great way to do that. And then I'll say at all the schools, I could sit in the confessional for at least an hour a day, and I'd be busy. And so there's a lot of confessions. And then just a lot of what we call ministry of presence, walking around the cafeteria, greeting students in the halls between periods. And then I have an office in all the schools, and so there's still office work to be done, even though it's not a parish. There's emails, reaching out to teachers, organizing things for OCIA, different things like that, retreats.
Okay, for our viewers, OCIA used to be RCIA.
Yes.
So it's the Order of Christian Initiation of Adults, Orders of Christian Initiation of Adults. Yes. Versus the Rites of Christian Initiation of Adults. And it's a process by which people who have never been baptized or have just baptized in other sacraments can either become members of the church or become more deeper members of the church.
Correct. So last year there was a need when I was just chaplain at St. Paul's of a number of students who hadn't made their confirmation yet. And so I approached you and asked, is this something we can do at the school level, at the high school level? And it wasn't students that necessarily should be in a parish confirmation program, but students that were past that age. So they were juniors and seniors. And so if they were to go back to a parish confirmation program with freshmen, it'd be a little bit awkward. But they're getting taught the faith at school. And so we took this opportunity to run a program. And we had 12 students go through last year from St. Paul's, and I think 16 from East Catholic.
Well, one of them was baptized, too.
Correct. One was baptized. I think 3 or 4 were baptized from East Catholic. And this year we're starting it up at Northwest, and we'll run it at all 3 schools. So there's a number of students, you know, if our schools are doing things the right way, if you will, and a lot of them are, it should lead them to students that aren't Catholic to have an encounter with our Lord and to ask those questions of faith and getting to know who God is. And so we have a number of students in our schools that want to become Catholic. And this is a great opportunity to do that. So with their parents' permission, they take the time to get catechesis and become Catholic and start to practice the faith.
Yeah. So you talked about the ministry of presence, just in being around the campus during school hours and being there, hearing confessions and all that. But there's also this other ministry of presence, which is why you're not often at home for supper or out of the building. And that's the ministry of presence. That's extracurricular stuff like sports, drama,
we got fall plays coming up, dances. Although I don't always like to go to high school dances. I didn't go in high school, really, to dances. I went to my proms, but that's about it.
I'm glad that it might have gotten in the way of becoming a priest.
Yeah, well, you can ask my prom date about that. But
my prom date ended up getting married and had like 7 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, Donna Cavino.
My prom date is still single, from what I know.
Well, maybe you scarred her for life.
Maybe I did. We can text her.
I know I did scar Donna. She's got grandchildren now too.
She's got grandchildren.
Like,
wow.
Oh my God, I feel old. So I feel like I got grandchildren because I've got children I baptized and now having their babies.
Okay.
So it's kind of like spiritual.
There you go, spiritual grandchildren.
So, but so you go to all you go to girls and boys stuff.
Yep. So my goal is to make it to every team sport, each of the teams for each season, just once, because it's a balance, right? I've got to go to girls volleyball at Northwest, girls volleyball at East Catholic, girls volleyball at St. Paul's. So figuring out when the games are and trying to make them work within their schedule. A little bit of a challenge, but we make it work. These times when Northwest and East play each other, it's a great 2-for-1 deal. So people ask who I root for, and I say I root that nobody gets hurt.
I root for Jesus.
I root for Jesus. That's a good answer. Maybe I'll use that next time.
When I was at the Turkey Day, what did they call it? The coin flip or
It's
something?
the Archbishop's Cup.
Yeah, but they made fun of my last name. I was very hurt when I went. It was Northwest versus East.
Yeah, Northwest versus East is
And so I
Thanksgiving
have two
Day.
hats. I wear one Northwest, one half,
You
and
just
I'm over.
wear-
And then on the other, I put the hat on, go with the East side. I usually end up going to the one that's winning
Okay,
because I'm a winner myself.
no doubt.
That's what
They
people
didn't
say.
hurt your
They'll
feelings
say,
too much.
Oh, that guy, he's a real winner. I take it in a positive way. But you can see Father Dan and I, our house is a really lively house in a lot of ways, so it's just a good thing. So this is new for you, and just trying to find your way,
Yeah.
and find out what's it. But this is something that's new in terms of the Archdiocese too, trying to put men and good priests in specialized ministries, not just parishes, like vocations, and you're working as chaplain in the schools and all that, because that's places that we really need to be.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, so many of the vocations of older priests say it came from their sisters in parish school, who were their teachers, who said, you've got a vocations. And I know in my own case, right, it came from exposure to priests, of just being around priests and seeing them do normal things other than celebrate Mass. I remember I was fascinated in high school with Father likes to go to Quiznos. These ordinary things that show we're ordinary people, but people that are also close to our Lord and pray and try and be disciples. And so just to be with our students and for them to see me around.
And we're already hearing good
helpful.
things, hearing really
God
good
willing.
things, God willing. So thank you for your priesthood.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for spending
Thanks
some
for
time with
ordaining
our
me.
group. And yes, I did ordain. That's right.
Yes,
And remember that promise of obedience.
I remember it.
This is Coffee with the Archbishop. God bless.